The virtue we call love is not a chemical. Love is seeking what's best for the other person.
Earlier, speaking of your wife, you said you were bringing up the answer to the question of what is love being a chemical.
Yeah, that's what 𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗫 said, yeah.
Right. But I was just curious, because I would believe love to be like a greater power than that. That just kind of seems like a disconnect, because I would assume there is a chemical response in our brain to love. It would just seem like a disconnect.
Well, there are chemicals that occur when we're attracted to somebody, or when we decide that we are going to bind ourselves to that person. There are different hormones that fire and all that. But the question is, love itself is not a chemical. And one reason we know that is because God is love, and he's not a chemical. Right?
Absolutely.
So from all eternity, God was in the Trinity and didn't have to create. He didn't create because he was lonely. He didn't have to create. He had perfect love in the Trinity, but he chose to share his love with other creatures, and so he created us. So we're not saying that when you love somebody, there aren't chemicals involved, but the virtue we call love is not a chemical. Love is seeking what's best for the other person.
Absolutely.
And you can seek what's best for the other person even when you don't feel like it. In fact, Jesus says, love your enemies. Do you ever feel like loving your enemies? No, it's a command, regardless of your feelings. And by the way, when you get married, you don't vow feelings for the next 50 years. You can't vow feelings. You can't vow to, you might as well say, I'll never feel hungry or angry again. You can't do that. All you can vow is behavior. And the only reason you need a vow when you get married is when the feelings go away, right? You don't need a vow when you're all lovey-dovey. Right. When all those chemicals are going and you're infatuated and you can't think of anything else but the other person, you don't need the vow. You only need the vow when, in the course of your life, things start going the wrong way and you say, I'm going to love you regardless of how I feel about it.